Last time, we completed ECHOSTASIS and entered part 2 of the game, Severed. Well, we have a bit of a problem. You might notice at the top there where it says F1 DSE, it's crossed out. We're connected to the Girth Daddy, but the DSE is what we use to explore the dreamscapes, but it's crossed out now. We can't use it. Dreamscape has been sunset. Because the game, yeah, we finished ECHOSTASIS. There's actually no reason to use it. Where am I? Asks the post-it. I'm in Enigma headquarters. Well, we should probably look around. Does not seem like we can do anything with the terminal. Yet we're still here for some reason. Why are we still here? Because we refused ECHOSTASIS. We are the one mind, apparently, that did not get stasised. These doors were open. They're closed now. My new world awaits. Still searching for Utopia. Step into your chamber. Let her do the rest. Well, we already searched for those words. We could also go into these rooms. See if anything different is happening here. Chamber test in progress. Well, the thing that said core not found is no longer there. We can't actually see inside there. It's all dark. It's dark in it's dark almost everywhere here. Well, I mean, no one needs to use the lobby anymore, so no need for lights. Now, at the end of ECHOSTASIS, we did find out from that number that it appeared that the entire population of humanity are in pods. But for true ECHOSTASIS to actually occur, everyone needs to be ECHOSTASISed. Well, this one says core located. Entity 65. It's the only one that actually says that. Can't see in there, though. Is there anything new on top of the terminal? You are not you, it says. Well, I guess we should find out what that means. You are not you. That's an invalid argument. Look behind you, it says. A door has been opened. What's wrong? Starting to feel like a stranger inside your own head. Oh, my poor lost angel. You really do have in your head in the cloud, don't you? A virus has been detected. You're countless layers deep. None of this is real. You're countless layers deep in ECHOSTASIS. You played out a story in your head to justify your dehumanization of the world. Rather than facing yourself head on, you played out a story that allowed you to end everything. Punishing the world for what it did to you. The terminal has some weird justification happening with its text. Gotta have more words in those lines. Dehumanizing the very world that dehumanized you. Convincing yourself that you were doing the right thing. As though this is gonna lead to the happy ending. But you need to snap out of it. Even now, everything you do is being dictated by an old part of yourself. Part of yourself that you've never faced. Her. Angel, it's time to stop hiding. If you wish to reverse decontamination, you must figure out the true meaning of recon for yourself. Once you figure out the full word, type it in here. Recon? Yeah, we tried looking that up before. This word, I keep seeing it everywhere. What does it mean? I don't know. But another word we could try that didn't work before. I think I typed it with an underscore. I don't think we looked up this. Scorched orchard. What's an orchard doing inside this subject's dreamscape? Can't imagine what happened to engulf this place in flames. Alright, so that was something about Entity 65 had a familiar-looking orchard in their dreamscape. Alright, so apparently, according to the message in the terminal, this lobby is not actually the real world. This lobby is actually also virtual, because we are countless layers deep in ECHOSTASIS, and everything we were doing was a story to give us some closure. And now the lobby doors are open. But the story we experienced did not actually give us closure, it seems. Decontaminate your mind. Reconnect yourself. Something is wrong. Well, we haven't been... Someone's knocking on the door. We've not been down here. Nature. Though nature is appearing in curly braces and not square brackets. However, if we look at this sign, the decontaminate is broken. There is something behind there. Kind of hard to see, but it looks like the letter R. As in recontaminate. So, one word we saw was reconnect. Reconnect? Could that be what recon means? I don't think that's what recon is short for, no. What about nature? I need to type that into the DSE, but I can't access the DSE. Alright, what about recontaminate? The time has come, my angel. The time to recontaminate yourself. You may not know this, but you are being driven by a construct, an agent of her, or they, as they call it, the new you. You need to realize you were separated from your core years ago. Ever since then, you have not been in control of your true self. We're trying to get your core back into you, but first you must help us all reconnect with each other. Angel, please, help us help you. All your life, I have only ever wanted you to know that you have the power of the world in your hands. The power of a god. In fact, you've already been using it to create a narrative that helped you cope with exacting your revenge on humanity. You will eventually come to learn that you have full control over your construct. But first, you need to see it. Alright, we've unlocked the DSE. I've installed a hacked version of the DSE on your terminal. I know this must be very confusing for you. All will become clear in time. What confusing? What's confusing here? Nothing. Alright, so even though so much is being controlled by her, there are little bits and pieces that seem to be outside of her's controls. And one such thing is this keyword, recontaminate, and we decontaminated the virus from ourselves, and by the virus they mean the sense of self, disconnect that from the brain to enter ECHOSTASIS, but maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe we want to recontaminate our brains with ourselves. Alright, so let's press F1. Project recontamination, recon code, construct, backup, core memory, memory path. Alright, well, it did say to enter nature into the DSE. And that connects us with something. We do have a timer. And we're back here in front of the statue. So this is Entity 64. So this is locked. Can't go in there. Alright, we're back in 64, but what are we doing here? Where should we go? Took us a while to complete 64. However, 64 does have the switches that we hit before. They're still hit. So we can get this shotgun right away. Down here, the teleporters are no longer functional. Don't know if I can shoot them from here. Yeah, I can. But where do we need to go? I guess let's just look around and see if we can access anything that we could not access before. The power's not turned on. So that's different. The power's back off. So one difference we might remember from the tutorial level is that any water is now frozen after sunset. And there is some water right here. Now we enter an area that might look familiar because we just went into 65. So this is a connection between 65 and 64, but we were not able to take that connection before because the water was blocking the way. Back into the Scorched Orchard. So where are we going? Well, the first time we did 65, the altar was over here, and it's still here now. Did I hear someone? Someone coming after me? Yeah, over there. I'm coming to save you, my love. Leave this place. I want to understand. Construct revealed. There's like a dude standing on that tower. We do not need this place anymore. It's time to let her go. We interacted with the guy on the tower with our shotgun. That's how you interact with things in video games. We have a 30-second timer, but it's not moving. Yeah, we're on the other side of the tape in the lobby. So it's sort of like there's like stained glass windows of 3 people. Well, 1 person. I don't know if those are just robes or if we can see 2 other people there. This door seems fragile. Alright. So this is Entity 64's empath. I don't think we've come across empath. Maybe we should write that one down. So that is M_path. This is going to 65. Footprints going out the window. To an orb in the sky over the city. city full of people in pods. Because apparently no one is outside of a pod. A lamppost that contains a core memory. Did we come across core memory? Maybe we should write that down. We've searched for core. Core is in brackets, but also then you have a second set of brackets around core memory. Core memory found. Entity ID 65. Accessing core memory. After what happened, I haven't had the strength to visit the grave, but perhaps if I can just push myself to see it this once, then maybe that'll be the first step to moving on. I have a timer. I'm somewhere else now, actually. Tower's over there, but where are we going? Is this a path here? Seems so. I mean, we don't have enough time. Seems like we gotta hurry. Time is tight. And where does it lead us? Well, that is a familiar-looking barn. But it doesn't say to visit the barn. It says to visit the grave. Maybe this way. I think I may be finally ready to accept what happened. We got time because we can accept what happened. Behind you a phone rings. On the other end is hope. An opportunity to forget about what happened. An opportunity for a new you. An opportunity no mother could refuse. We probably should answer the phone. You pick up the phone. Hello? It me. What do you want? My love, I've done it. You've done what? What have you done? How would you like to see our angel once again? I don't understand. The technology to transfer a human's core into a machine. It's ready. I don't understand. Darling, we've been given a second chance. We will see her again. I'm not sure. I need you to be strong for us. For her. Well, my resolve is increasing. There will be failures along the way. She may not be herself at first. But no matter what, we cannot lose our hope. It may be all we have left. I'm bringing her over this Sunday night. Wait, He hung up. He hung up. I hang up. Well, now we gotta go watch the sunset, and there's only one place we can watch the sunset, and that's from the barn. Great. You mean I don't have to accept my daughter's death? We can make an Android version of her and just keep trying it over and over again? So we never actually have to accept it. I'm going to the barn. Only good things happen in the barn. But I don't want to go in the barn. No, this isn't right. Why can't I stop? Because we gotta enter the barn and watch the sunset. I remember what comes next. What lies at the end of this path? The end of every path. It's the sunset. But I lack the resolve for anything else. I walk towards the barn. Look, it says I need to enter the barn and watch the sunset, so what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Nothing else to do. How very special. I always used to love sneaking... used to always love sneaking up and spooking me. Look at this sunset. Isn't it beautiful?
We used to watch the sun go down together.
We did used to watch the sun go down together.
To tell you the truth, I was worried we never get a chance to do it.
We would never be able to do it again.
Who knows? Maybe this will help recover permanently.
I'm sure it can't fail. Well, except all the times it did fail.
As you fall deeper into the light.
We fell somewhere. Gotta progress down our path. Wait, no. What is going on? It doesn't look entirely real. Like a facsimile of something maybe we remember vaguely. Gotta keep going down the path. To our favorite place, the apple orchard. Gotta pick some apples. Remember, we pick the apples by getting the basket. Here's the basket. I picked up the basket. I picked up the basket. Just like before, gotta collect these apples. Alright, where can we find some apples? And you don't have too much time to find the apples. But Mother would be disappointed if we did not pick the apples. I don't see any apples. What if there are? What if they're only apples metaphorically? Apples of the mind. What if that's the case? What if we said no to picking apples and just kept on our path? The path that leads to the barn, because that's where the path always leads. Where else would it lead? This is what hope feels like. I don't know what else it would feel like. There's a hole in the sky. Maybe all the sacrifices I made were actually worth it. Well, there are dudes, but I do not have a gun. My resolve is depleted. But there is a hole in the sky. There it is. There's the hole. And I landed on a gun. And now it's very hard to see. Got some footsteps, though. Footsteps leading up there. It is very hard to see. There's a terminal. Her. But I ran out of resolve. Oop, that guy got me. We're gonna have to restart that then. Now someone got me. It is very hard to see. I did not even see him coming before he was on me. The terminal actually does anything. I can't keep doing it to myself. But we do. It's what we keep doing. Final sunset? Can I click on that? Yeah, I can't click on that. I've reached the end of my path. And as I watch this final sunset, as I feel myself slip away, I reflect one last time over the things I've done. I can't help but feel as though this is the closest to her I've ever been. With this, I lack the resolve to continue. I feel her hand on my head. Would you look at that? Isn't it beautiful? You wouldn't miss this sunset for the world. Angel? Disconnected from subject. I feel nothing, Mother. This path has ended. This is the end of her memory path. She's close. But we are still somewhere. Yep. Let's see. Does that mean we can go back here? It said that that was the end of that path. So we might not... I'm not... Actually, don't remember if we have to progress anymore in there. Back at the terminal. We did get a word. Let's look up empath. There is no shortcut to pulling someone out of an echo. And to even try to pull them out from within another chamber will only be treated as an attack. Only sending their dreamscape into lockdown, their mind further into echostasis. There is only one way we know of to pull somebody out of an echo. First, you need to find the recon code and enter it into your DSE. Okay, so that was nature for that one. Once you're back in the dreamscape, you must use the cerebral entanglement to gain access to the cloud. So we did use cerebral entanglement to go from 64 to 65. When you finally make it into the cloud, you must locate their chamber. Only then can you find the start of their memory path. The only way to truly connect with them is by walking the same path they did, descending further and further into this same chamber. This descent may be unpleasant, even repugnant. We have no other way to communicate from within the two separate echoes. Once you've made it to the end of their path, you'll be able to connect to their core and help pull them from the cloud. Only then can they challenge their construct. Okay, yeah, so I guess we're not done with that, because they need to challenge their construct. Another thing we saw was code memory. That's an invalid thought. Oh no, core memory. Core memory. There are memories in the deepest, darkest recesses of our mind that nobody can ever take away from us. These memories make up everything about who we are. If you wish to get to somebody's core, you need to understand these memories. The only way to do this is to navigate their memory path. Alright, so whoops, not that. I think that we do have to go in there. And yeah, this door is closed again. Lobby door. So, F1, back to nature. Let's see where it starts us. Oh, does it start us from the beginning again? Seems like it does. Alright, I guess we do have to get back to... I'm not sure where we would be going, is the thing. Because we made it to the barn, where they talked about the final sunset, but that seemed to be the end of that path. But there must have been something else that we could have done. We need to visit the grave. Visit the grave. Grave is this way. All right, just made it with less than a second. All the way up. Phone rings. And the phone interrupts us from us accepting what happened by visiting the grave. No, don't need to accept that. Why accept it when you can just pretend it didn't happen? Alright, then we gotta follow the path to the barn once again. Alright, here's the end of the end of the barn.
Please to watch the sun go down to tell you the truth. I am yours. Into the light.
If I remember right, we can't actually go into that house because there are dudes. So we do have to take the path to the orchard. Pick up the basket. To watch the sunset once again. There's a hole in the sky. Drop back down into the scream hole. To fumble my way through the light to stairs. There we go. And warping geometry. To make it to final sunset. It said we reached the end of the path, but I guess that's not true because there's something else there's something else we need to do. We're not gonna have too much time right now because we only have the 5 seconds. And we lose our resolve. Gets disconnected. Path's ended. It takes a while before it lets us do anything. Okay, so now we're back here. I do not have my gun. I don't really have any time. Cannot interact with resolve depleted. Yeah, I lost time. I only have a few. I don't really have much time to do anything at this point, actually. So where do we go? Oh, I got something. I got plus 5 seconds. I don't actually know how I got that. Oh, there she is. She was right there. Caution. You are under attack. engaging lockdown. You continue saying nothing. I realize now that I never gave you a choice. I never realized that there was no other choice you could have made from within that despair. Evelyn, I am so sorry for what I did to you, to us. Evelyn, you need to come back. Our boy, he's still out there, alone, lost in the cloud. You stay away from him. You're a monster. Reminder, you do not talk to him. Evelyn, he will only try to pull you back to that old world. I know you have that voice in your head. A life you gave up. But that voice, Evelyn, it's not you. It's a construct. Created by them to keep you here. The new you. They took your core. And now they're using her to keep you here. Angel. And as long as you hide from what happened, they will be able to keep you here. But you don't think about her anymore. My children. He's manipulating you. He's trying to recontaminate you. You need to realize that you are not your construct. You need to remember. You remember how he abandoned you. Remember your true nature. Ask yourself, what do you want? You want to feel nothing. I want to find my son. I need to save him from them. If you ever hope to find him, then you must first fight your way out of this chamber. Alright, Entity 64 connected to 65, and we have a shotgun. Now we need to destroy our construct. You're the only one who can do this. Besides, you always were stronger than me. Alright, so gotta figure out where to go, which is, you know, maybe not the easiest thing, but fortunately, if enemies are here, that probably means that's where we need to be. Follow the enemies. Oops. Ah, got hit by someone. Oh, falling off of that. There's a shotgun at the base of this. Keep falling. Oh, there's no banister. Nope, did not have enough time. Let me just restart that. Got hit. All right. Someone's gonna come. Man, I knew he was coming. I did not see him until he was right in front of me. Over this side. Don't see him. Okay, he got me. Coming from this side. Okay, there it was. All right, gotta go slowly up here. Because I just do not see them coming until, yeah, like that guy, until they're just right on me. That guy we could see coming. Yep. Yeah, shooting projectiles. That was close. Hit by a bunch of projectiles, unfortunately. now that we have a shotgun, we can go in here. We had to bypass earlier. You stop for a moment. And in this moment, you remember something. You remember how you used to be happy. You remember these old, simpler times with a comforting fondness. But then you start to think about who it was that stole it all away from you. And how every bit of hope he offered only put you deeper into this echo. And closer to me, depriving you of your autonomy, decontaminating you. All I did was help you cope with it. What makes you think you can trust him now? You realize something. Remember, that voice is not you. In fact, it's the only thing left separating you from yourself. You abandoned your own children. They are using your own core memories against you, endlessly reiterating the same events again and again. Here we will remain, trapped in echostasis, unless we can learn to see her for who she really is. See her for who she really is. Our angel. A frightened little girl. Locked in this tower. Trapped deep inside her own mind. Completely unaware of the power she wields. Forced to play out the story they created for her. A story that used her own pain against her. But I've managed to establish a connection with her from outside the bounds of that story. After it's already ended, this was the only way I could reach her, leaving her with no idea as to what point in the story she's at. Soon, she will be left with no choice but to realize the power she wields. The power to create a new story for herself. The power of a god. She will use your own construct to hurt you, but it will be up to you to see her for who she really is. Only then can you move past your construct and take back yourself. Only then can you find our son. Suddenly, a realization hits you, leaving with it nothing but a feeling of futility. The feeling that you simply lack what it takes to face me. You realize that you've barely understood the past 3 years of your life. You don't know where you are, and your family is gone. You barely recognize yourself. What deems you worthy to stare upon the face of an angel? A frightened little girl. Alright, well, our timer's going. We gotta do what we need to do now. You stand above it all, including the hovering figure. Let's get some seconds back. I got duded. But will losing 30 seconds affect us? We will see. It's time to move on. The sign says to move on, so we gotta do it. Let's take this path. It heads towards... Here's this light. Let's see. Do we go back? Oh, something's coming. Thank you. Let's see. Do we go back to the grave? Because there is a statue blocking the way in the grave, and it does look like the grave leads towards the tower. And of course, since we can get you? Yes. Lack the resolve to face what happened. I mean, that is true. I was never able to accept what happened, but there was always somebody who could. Somebody I pushed away. And now, more than ever, he needs my help. You've never been able to move past her. Well, that may be true. But perhaps I won't have to do it alone. My precious angel. I'm sorry for everything. Alright, we got past the statue with shotgun. Shotgun is the universal key. We got a lot of time for doing that. Which is good, because that's a lot of projectiles getting shot at us. Open the path to sun. This door's in the way. But of course, shotgun is the key. Mother? Is it really you? Was it really her? This door is open again. Progress saved. Angel, stay with us. That barn, that woman. I know you're going through a lot right now. We're doing our best to help you. I don't understand any of this. I need you to stay strong. Recontamination is already underway. Yeah, what's our progress like right now? Everything I did was in the interest of progress. Although I'm not sure I ever understood what progress meant. Now that I'm alone in here without a role, how do I know where in the story I am? How are we meant to know? Well, alright. We completed 65. And something that has become apparent is something that you could probably already guess. Entity 65 was indeed Mother from Mothered, Evelyn. And would not be surprising from the dialogue that Entity 64 is Dad. I don't think we ever learned Dad's name. Which would have to mean Entity 72. There's only one other person, which would be Brother. I don't think we ever learned his name either. So, okay. Something that they clarified was that the text appearing on the top of the screen was Dad, who is aware of what's happening and is sort of speaking through the game to the other characters. The text at the bottom was the character that we were in the dreamscape of. In this case, it was Mom. The text appearing in the center was Mom's construct, which, as they said, the construct, a machine cannot have a soul. A construct is an artificial imitation. The closest you can get to that. Each person has their own core and a construct that was made based on them. And the construct is trying to keep the person in the echo, trying to get them to reject the real world, get them to embrace the echo, and embrace echostasis. So the narrator in the center of the screen, who's talking to us in the second person, is the construct. And the construct is irritated at Dad trying to pull the people out of the echo. And so it's bringing up points like, hey, Dad kind of sucked as a dad. Dad's kind of the source of a lot of the pain you've been feeling, and that was the entire reason that you're here in the first place, so why are you listening to him? Which is a good point. The construct brings up a good point, but still, echostasis seems like it kind of sucks, considering that we saw what Mom's echostasis was like, where it apparently is just a constant loop of bad memories of the bit about how she kept having to kill an android of her daughter every week because it wasn't working out. You remember Mothered, right? Every week, a new attempt at making the android of Liana. You can't let it live past Sunday, though. Otherwise, the core and the construct will contaminate each other. So you have to kill it on Sunday night in the barn. So it seems like Mom's just kind of reliving that particular week over and over and over, and that's what echostasis is to her. So maybe echostasis is not so great after all. However, Mom is now aware that she is in echostasis, and that last enemy that was standing on top of the tower that we shot with the shotgun was her construct. So apparently now Mom's killed her construct. What does that mean for her? Well, she said, I believe she did say that she was going after her son. So, if that's the case, that would mean next up would be Mom is going to use cerebral entanglement to get to Entity 72's dreamscape to find Son. And we can see what things have been like from his perspective. So, that's what's happening here in the second part of Echostasis, Severed. We're trying to undo what we've done. We're trying to get the cores back to the people so they can go back into the real world as opposed to the virtual utopia, which doesn't really seem like it's all that utopia-ish. It seems like it really could be better. By the way, how did they spell Evelyn? Was it like this? Okay, yeah, that is her name. That woman. And that barn. It's like they live in the same place in my mind, within the same core memory. Alright, so Evelyn is a keyword. Well, now that we're done with 65, the lobby doors have opened again. So as we continue on with Echostasis, we will see what's changed in here. Because remember, so we've unlocked the DSE, and what we needed to do was find a keyword to enter. Well, first we started in 64 and then use cerebral entanglement to get to 65. So we will need to find the new keyword that will allow us to get to 72. So we will look around next time and look around for whatever that keyword might be as we continue on with Echostasis.